Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for taking time out. And it's funny is like this is one where it, something about social media and the internet and having similar friends of where like I feel like we've already met, but I know we haven't because I spent a lot of time with John Cott
Yeah.
and we've had a lot of conversations about you, and it's just weird how like social media can be like, oh yeah, yeah, Sam, and you can talk like you know him, and then it'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
when's the last time you seen him? And you're like, oh yeah,
Never.
never, right?
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's kind of like I've been watching your stuff since I started doing TikTok, and when you come up in conversation, I'm the same way. I'm like, yeah, we're boys,
Yeah, it's
even though we've never met in real life, So
yeah, it's really it's different. It's just different how you can have connections through that and whatnot. And man, congratulations on your socials have just exploded, and it's so cool to watch those numbers just keep going. There's just like it's
thank you,
like
man. I appreciate it.
yeah, it's very impressive. I was like, man, like good for him, and I'm glad people are getting to enjoy the sound that that you have and your music and what was your like first video? It got like 15 million views, and that's just what really puts you on the on a lot of people's radar. And then what I loved with that is they got to hear your version of a song, and then next thing you know, they're like, oh, he's got original music, and
Right.
see people digging that. I thought that was a really great way of having people, because a lot of times with original music, people are just for some reason apprehensive of that. And
Yeah, man. It's really hard to get people to take a chance on it. I mean, I still even fight with it now whenever it's a new song, like getting people to like really dive into it. But yeah, man, the covers. I remember, like you said, the first time I posted a cover that it did well. It was it felt like a big moment for me, whenever that happened, because I'd been doing TikTok for probably 8 months, like every day with just 100, 200 views. Everybody thought I was crazy. I almost gave up, I'm not gonna lie. And then I posted a cover of, it may have been the Nirvana song that was the first one that did really good. And yeah, that was kind of the start of it. I was just like, man, this actually can work, after 8 months of just like grinding it out, trying and just failing every single day for months. But yeah, just internet's crazy, man.
right, and I'd love to see the reward of your videos, because you actually go to locations and shoot in
Yeah.
really cool landscapes where like not, I'm in my studio. I don't think I hardly ever leave, but you're out near like ships by the
Yeah.
water.
It's kind of become like a little like a hobby of mine. It's like whenever I'm driving around the Mississippi Gulf Coast, I'm like always always looking around like, oh, that'd be a good spot. And Jeff, the guy that shoots my stuff, he's always on the lookout for good stuff. And then over the years we've just got a collection of about 15, 20 spots that are really good that we'll just kind of keep in a cycle. It's really easy now. I mean, it's pretty typical for me to just do like one round of content per song. I'll just do it all in one day, and like we'll just go out and have a good time for 3-4 hours shooting videos. And you know they're not all going to be great, but we just go out and try to knock it out and enjoy it.
So with your songs, with the production and whatnot, do you specifically use like a studio, or when you first started out? Because everything you put out has sound like very professional, and especially that Nirvana cover has like the original homage to that like dark sense of
Yeah.
feeling on it.
Yeah, I've worked with the same guy for his name's Zach Kill. It's actually the same guy that John Cott uses. But yeah, I've known Zach for I think 8 years now. Before I was even doing solo stuff, I had like a kind of indie rock type thing that I was doing with Zach for a long time. And then one day I got this crazy idea that I was going to do country. And that's, I had one of my older songs. We went in and did it. And we started chipping away at that whole thing. It seemed like it started, getting some legs under it. So that's kind of how we worked at that. But yeah, Zach's, he's a very good producer. If it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't even be doing this, because he kind of helped me get everything going. And he's the one that actually taught me into doing TikTok. So
That's, when you think of it, just sometimes just like the universe just aligns just right.
Yeah, it really was, man. Because I just, like I said, I was recording songs with him for 4 or 5 years, and they just weren't doing anything. I would just put them out, and kind of like a lot of people do. You just put songs out and you expect it to just magically do good for some reason, but like you have to like tell people that you put music out. And we were having a session one day, just another song that we were working on. I think it was when we started the country stuff, and he was just, he was digging it. And he's like, dude, it's like, if you really like I didn't have any social media at the time. I'm just a personal Facebook page, and he was just like, man, he's like, this stuff's good, dude. He's like, if you really want to pursue this, like, he's like, I know you're like the older artist or whatever, because he's a little bit younger than me. He's like, man, he's like, you got to do TikTok. And this is when TikTok was really they were really pushing artists and stuff. So, yeah, man, I took his advice and ran with it. Like I said, it took me about 8 months to like get that first video that got like 10,000 views that really kind of lit a fire under me. But like, yeah, man, it's just the whole deal's been crazy. He's been great for me though. He's a great producer.
That's good to hear. And it's funny, is especially like when you're like, I'm obsessed with numbers, and back then when, like you said, they were pushing artists, it was awesome because you can put something down and just, I mean, immediately reward it. And now it's like the complete opposite, and it's just,
yeah,
it sucks,
Yeah, it's lost a little bit of its fun, because I remember like posting a video, like you said, you could scroll off of it and come back to it. And like, there was one point where I had one, like I would go off of it and come back, and it'd be 10,000, like 10,000 people within 5 seconds have seen it, and it's just, those days are kind of gone. But like, it was a super cool time. It, like I said, it lit a fire under me. So it was a really cool thing to witness, though, for sure.
Yeah, and it's nice that it was able to give you the opportunities that you have now, and
yeah, for sure. And I mean, it helped me build a fan base that I feel like I was able to, as they say, get it while the getting was good.
Now, like for someone who's never heard your music, and with your most recent single, "Dead Man Walking," when they first listen to that, how would you want someone to like feel of the first time hearing your voice?
It's probably, you're either probably going to really like it or not. That seems to be the going thing. People either, it's like, I love this, or like, it's just not for me, which is, it's kind of the reason that I've been playing music for over 20 years. And for 15, 16 years of that, I was just a guitar player. I always thought I was a horrible singer, so I just never did it. So,
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's just a little different. I don't think I really sound like anybody but myself. And sometimes when you have to hear yourself all the time, it's kind of annoying to hear all the time. But yeah, I mean, I come from the 90s era of music. That's what my older brothers listened to, and it's just kind of where I grew up and what I loved, and it's just kind of engraved in me to have that sound, I think.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. Who was your biggest influence from that era, if you can remember or even have one?
It was definitely like, the whole Nirvana, Soundgarden, Third Eye Blind. I was really into this band called Flicker Stick. I don't know if you ever heard of Flicker Stick.
It sounds
They're
familiar,
from
but I don't think so.
they're on a show on VH1 like early 2000s called Bands on the Run. But anyway, bands like that, The Used was like one of my favorite bands. I don't know. I know more about that era of music than I actually do country. So that's why I like trying to, when I was like, I'm going to do country, like I didn't really know what I was doing. And Zach, also the guy that recorded me, he mostly did like rock and metal kind of stuff. So when we like attempted to do country, I think the lack of experience kind of helped us create something because we didn't really know what we were doing, you know? So,
Right. I think that does help because, you know, it's very easy. Like as a guitar player, it's weird when like you'll be riffing out and you're like, man, I just wrote like my greatest song ever. And if you
yeah.
play, if you play it for someone else and they go, no, that's like Jimi Hendrix. And all you did was add like a couple extra strums and whatnot. And it's sometimes like when you are writing music, it's like the less you know, the better it is, because exactly for that, because you can develop your own sound and whatnot. And I've been amazed at how many people, like just last night, I was having a conversation with one of the guys from Them Dirty Roses, and I was telling them, I was watching them play live, and they played this song that was incredible. I'm like, oh, is this one of their new songs? And I just looked at the guy. I said, what song is this? Did he announce it? And he just looked at me really weird. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Here it was a cover. It was Whipping Post. And
Oh, nice.
I didn't know. And I told one of the members, and he goes, oh, dude, I just learned that song. I had never heard it either. And I'm like, really? I was like, that's pretty cool. He goes, yeah, man, I never really jammed out like on this kind of stuff. And it just kind of like developed just from a group of guys getting together and just riffing it
Yeah.
out, not really knowing or having any intentional way to sound or to be. And yeah, I just think that's a really cool way of how, because it's like a lot of your songs, they're very diverse, and you can definitely tell like that's what one thing I really love about what guys like you were doing and whatnot. There's no border, there's no box. It's just like, hey man, we're gonna write a song like this, or we're gonna write a song like that. And yeah, I really like the versatility, and there's a lot of versatility in your voice as well, because sometimes it has that jagged, you know, the grit and gravel, and other times it can sound like very towards with that like the not the old 90s sound, which I loved.
Yeah.
It's just, I love that it's coming back.
I try not to like you were saying, no boxes or boundaries whenever I'm writing. I mean, it that was kind of whenever we did a couple country songs, like we did like 3, like the first 2 or 3 that we did, everybody was kind of like, hey, you need to listen to this and try to sound like this. And you know, they did okay, but I think the one that really took off where me and Zach it was really, honestly, it was kind of like my last one. I was like, I'm going to do this. It really was like, I think this is going to be my last song, because nothing was really working. And, you know, it's like I have my little home studio here. I was like, I'll just record and do things here, because that's just kind of what I like to do. It's just write, and it's just always been something that I love. But as far as like going to the studio and putting music out, I was like, I'm just going to do this last song, and I'm going to see how it turns out. And that's when we did Make You Want God. And that was my first original song that actually like blew up real hard on TikTok. And, you know, that was the one that we were just like, I'm just going to do this like how I want. I'm not going to like try to sound like this person or do whatever. So that's when we just started putting choirs and making it sound real dark. And I don't know. I never in my life would have thought that that song would have had any kind of like viral moment, because it was literally just like, this is probably going to be the last song that I record and do. So, and then it, you know, it sparked into what it is right now. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, stories like that, you know, this might be the last thing that I say. And when you put it out there, and you just sit there and wait to see, you know, is the dream over? Is the dream?
Yeah. It was the first time on that song that I decided that I was just gonna actually sound like myself and, you know, not be scared of it. I was gonna sound gritty and not so, you know, not so pretty, I guess you could say. So I never would have thought people would have liked it, if I'm being honest. So it was the craziest thing to me. And that song now is still, you know, it's doing really good for, you know, just for an independent guy like me.
Well, that's good. Man, it's a weird feeling, and it's, you know, you have to trust the process, and then you have to let it out. You have to let it out in
Yeah.
the world, and let it, you know, kind of like, you know, when a kid turns 18, says, you know, I'm leaving home, and whatever, it can go either really well, or and then now with the internet, it may, a song could possibly not do well and
Yeah.
get buried, and then somebody makes a video of the sound, and before you know it, it's back, and it's huge.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and it's so frustrating.
It really is frustrating, because I did the same thing with the song right after Make You Want God. I did a song called Son of the Sandman.
Mm.
And like, I could not get anything going with that song, because I thought it was just gonna, you know, you have like a big moment with a song, you think it's just gonna keep happening. And I put it out, and it pretty much went through several releases. And then, you know, I reposted an old video that I did, and something with it caught on. It, you know, it went viral, and like that song caught on. And so it's just kind of, you can't ever really give up on them, because I think later on they can come back and have their moment. And I think having good songs in your catalog is super important, even if they don't do well immediately. I think people will still appreciate them, you know?
Yeah, it's just so weird how you have to like recycle, plan, curate, when
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I feel like it just shouldn't have to be so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, yeah, it can be stressful sometimes, especially when, like, you know, guys like me, I, I depend on some of those moments for a song to do good, you know? It's like organic content. You hope you can come up with something that people are going to like around a moment of the song, you know? And it's like, you know, you don't always get it, and it can be frustrating for sure, especially when you put so much time to, number one, you wrote it. Number two, you had to go to the studio. Then you had to make content for it. And on top of that, you had to pay for all of it. So
Yeah, right. And it's a lot of work, and a lot of frustration, because
yeah.
you know, you got to write the song, you got to record the song, you got to play the music, you got to play the guitar, you got to, you know, do the studio time, and if he's not mixing and mastering it, you got to send it to get mastered, and then you come back, and it's like, well, now I have this little thing. Now I got to go out and set up a camera, set up a cameraman, and you know, just
The worst part for me is having to promote it and edit the videos, because like you have to hear the song so many times that, like, by the time the song's released, you're like, man, you've heard the song so many times, you think it sucks. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that's my worst thing, is like, I try to get it done a couple weeks before the release, so I can like take a break from it. I did that with this song, and it helped a lot, because when it was time to release it, I hadn't listened to it in like a week and a half. I was like, it's not so bad. But when you're like listening to it nonstop, I feel like it's just, it's almost like torture. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. It's eventually your own music will sound like listening to like a metronome, which is a
Yeah,
weird
dude.
thing.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people too, that when you're recording it, make sure you like it. Even if like the producer they really want it to be that way. I always tell John, I'm like, we're the ones that have to go out and like promote this forever. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I have to be happy listening back to it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's usually not a big issue. With Zach, the guy I record with, we usually are on the same page. But most of the time it's my stuff that I record in this studio. I'll be like, I can't live with that. I'll be up here trying to get it just right, and I'm not exactly a great engineer.
Yeah, it's crazy how there's endless amounts of information out there on how to engineer, mix and master, and it's the science behind it, and it's always changing. There's always it's
Yeah, dude. I definitely could never be that guy. I'm not patient enough. A lot of some of the videos that I release on here, it's literally me. Just have a 2-channel interface, and I just plug it in and play and sing into my software, and that's usually like the stuff that I do in here. It's just completely live. But yeah, I don't have patience to edit or do anything. I get so frustrated with it. I'm not like we were talking about before we started, man. I'm just not techie or at all. So
yeah. I prefer that to be that way as well. I love when
yeah,
everything is just I love just cut, copy, paste. And there's the clip. There's that. Any deviation of, we were at Mile Zero Fest, and there's some videos that don't have sound because I forgot the webcam, which would have lined everything square. Now, like, I should have told people I was clapping when it's like really loud, and they're like, "Oh, thanks." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's you look for the spike, and that's you just match them up with the sound. That's why they go." Or
right.
you take rocks and click them, and I'm like, man, it's gonna take forever because some of these files are like 33 gigs. It's like,
Oh my god, dude, you've got a job for sure.
yeah, it doesn't pay. I just do it for the passion and the love of it all. But I completely understand where you're coming from because it's endless. It is absolutely endless once you start getting more and more content, and then with the consumerism age that we're in right now, like you're like, oh, nice single. When's the next 10? When's the next album? You're like, man, like this
Right.
stuff ain't free, and it takes time,
It
especially
does, man.
when you're independent. And then if
The standard now is releasing a song every 6 weeks. I'm trying to do it, but like I feel like as soon as I release one, like I just released this one last Friday, and it's like it's already time to start thinking about another one. It's like I got to get it in distribution and get it set up for playlisting or whatever they all want for that crap. And it's just like, you're right, it just never ends, man. But I guess that's what we signed up for, right?
and it makes me wonder, like, once you do get a bigger following and a more organic fan base, and does it get easier when like they reach it out for you, or
Yeah.
they add things and it's automatically updated where you don't have to be like, January 23rd, new single.
Right. Yeah, it would be nice, man. I know I love it whenever my songs make the release radar, because all the people that follow me out on, I guess, Spotify, I think is how it works. But I mean, it just pushes it out to a lot of people. So this last release that I did has been probably the best one ever, just as far as like I made some playlist and like it hit release radar, it hit the radio. So I'm hoping that from now on that's kind of how everything goes. But the song I did before, like, it didn't make any of that. And I thought, this was the one that I thought was going to be like, another kind of like heart-shaped box moment where I did that cover, and like it just nope. I think the first day it did like 10,000 streams, and I was expecting it to be way bigger than that. But
yeah, the game,
you
just never know. But man, that heart-shaped box cover, that's good. I love that riff. It's just like come as you are, that riff as well. There's like real slow melodic, and how he sings behind the music, kind of, and just the rhythm of his vocals and that riff. It's very, very hard to do. and
Right.
and lay your vocals out like that. Not a lot of people realize, you know, it's easy to play on guitar. I'm like, well, now sing it, sing the whole thing. Like
Right.
I that whole genre back in the day, man, it's weird how it came out and it knocked hair metal off any
Yeah.
spotlight. And it
Yeah.
was like guitar solos, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, here we are. Here you know, here we are and just cardigans and just this sound and it's just crazy how it changed so much and it just slowly and then just out of nowhere was like gone.
Yeah.
It was a really weird time but I guess a lot of it was, you know, there unfortunately there was some passings away and just I guess yeah. Because I think like the big three, like at Soundgarden, Nirvana, and I know a lot of people say like some people say like Alice in Chains wasn't grunge, but I thought they were. I thought they had that sound, and yeah, it's just weird. And that whole like even like the 2000s and whatnot, it's just weird how like these sounds like come and go, and I really like that. It's like being, you know, people that loved it are bringing it back, and
Yeah.
I really love hearing that because for the longest time, it it's like all the people that just they all got together and they're like, how are we going to take all the money out of everybody's pockets? And they figured out certain things that people like, especially in like in country and even in like the metal world, everything sounded the same. It
Yeah.
was like it when like you're listening to a song, you're like, okay, I get this, and it just even in metal, you know, why does this have to have a breakdown right here?
Right.
It started to bother me. You know, like I get it. Like if it doesn't fit the feel of the song, you don't need the part where everybody in the band is all synchronized. And it's just a lot
Right.
of it. A lot of it just seemed like, well, we put that because that's what is
What we're
expected.
supposed to do. Right.
Yeah, I hate that. I like when people they'll do something else, you know, or like, yeah, hell, let's put horns, let's put a choir, you know, and it comes
Yeah.
out of nowhere, but it works, and it sounds like what they wanted to do. You
Right.
know, the artist, not the guy standing behind the guy in the chair with the suit and tie, going,
Right.
no, that we're gonna do what worked before. And it's just really weird how a lot of stuff got like that. And it's really cool, like to hear, like you were saying, well, that's not what I do, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what's me. And I really appreciate what the independent artists are doing when it's a chance. It's chance on yourself, and I think it's just a better way to go. You know, because you're not going to get burned out. And I really think like getting rewarded of doing something you wanted to do creatively the way you wanted to do it, and to see that reward of
Yeah.
you know they liked it, they like me, not what I thought they would like.
Right.
I just feel I feel like that just would be that's just me, but more rewarding. And man, you can once you find the people that like that part of your music, it's endless wherever you can go. And I think that's great because you don't want to you don't want to just do the same thing over and over again.
No. Yeah. I agree, man. I mean, a lot of the bands I was in previous years from way back in the day, that was, you know, like going back to the early 2000s, like everybody was always kind of, I mean, it's even the same today. Like people are chasing this thing that's already like a thing. And then by the time you get to that thing, like it's not cool anymore. Something else is cool. So I just feel like you should, yeah, like just do your own thing. Do it. I mean, like you said, it's more rewarding whenever you do something that's truly you, truly your voice or your sound, and it works, man. It's like the best feeling in the world. So
Yeah, it's just cool. It's cool. That's what music should be.
yeah, Yeah, I agree 100%, man.
And I loved like Nirvana. Like if they weren't happy with the way how things were going, I loved how they would take it out on their shows where you would know, like like that old mentality, or like even back in the 70s when they're like, you have to lip sync, and they're like, no, and they're like, well, that's not how we do it on TV. And you see like I forget who it was, she was eating a banana, like, you know, not sync. It was
Uh,
just to make it obvious, and I love that.
yeah,
I,
there's been a couple artists that have done that over the years. Didn't Alan Jackson do it too? He did something.
oh, they didn't want the drummer to hit the drums, right? So he was playing without sticks.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. And
Yeah.
yeah, he did something else where didn't they didn't want him to do like a George Jones or not play, and he played it anyway or did something, or it's I just like stuff like that. Like it gets you thrown off of, and you can't be trusted with productions like that, but still,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm here, you asked me to be here, and I want to do things my way, obviously within reason, but you know what I mean? Like, I love like the one video of Nirvana where the crowd was being mean to the all girl band, and he ruined their show for them. He's like, you know, be be kind. You know, we're all up here, we're all on the grind. They didn't care how big they were. You know what I mean? Like they kept it
Yeah.
true to their selves. And like you're not gonna insult our opener, which I love that because I don't even know who the opener was. You know what I mean? But I know Nirvana stood up for him, and it just stuff like that. I don't know. Just I always like seeing it. You don't really see it anymore, I guess, because like we don't have like media like that anymore. Where back in the day, MTV
Right.
actually reported on music, and you had the cool, you know, VJs where you had the personalities, and you could have like the headbangers ball and all that, and
Yeah, it's so much different now, man. The attention spans are so much shorter, you know.
it's it's crazy. Like when I go to a restaurant and the kids, like they're just all you see is the light illuminated on their face from the iPad the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whoa, you know, like, and I love looking over and you see the kids like doing the coloring
Color.
on
Yeah.
the thing, like that's what I did. You know what I mean? Like, was more involved, and man, I'm one of the like I got a Nintendo, and my dad was like, "This is the worst thing I ever bought you," and he he got rid of it, and
Yeah.
you know, he's like, go outside, don't come back, don't come back. I just remember
Yeah.
being like, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, I don't care.
We didn't have one growing up. My parents, they did not let us have one, and they the same way. They were like, "Go outside."
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I would, I'd go over to my friends and we'd stay up all night and like Mario Kart, like for just like as long as we could take it. And I'd come home and be like fried from Mario Karting for like 2 days straight. But yeah, man. At the time, I thought, man, I was like, it's kind of mean not to let us have one. But now, like, I mean, that's what I did when I was a kid. I learned how to play guitar and go
Yeah.
outside, do stuff. And I'm the same way now. Like, I've been crazy the last 3 days because I haven't been able to go outside because it's been so cold here. And so it's just, I don't know. It's taught me a lot of good things. Not having, to this day, I still don't play games. Like, I've never even played an Xbox. So
It helps, and you know, a lot of people like I grew up in that era of
yeah,
obviously with your videos appreciate like a cool landscape, and we realize like some of those areas probably not the easiest to get to, but and it also probably helps because you're looking for that.
right.
You know, it's you have an eye for cool things, and with your songs, you know,
Yeah.
the abandoned ships and everything, the abandoned boats, it gives like a really cool spooky vibe, and it just helps with because your voice is so deep, and sometimes you're drop tuned, and it just gives like a really cool aura of the video, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. It's just the kid in me. All I'm doing is going out and exploring. you know, I still love doing that kind of stuff. It's always, like I said, it's fun for me to go out and shoot videos because I hear people complain about it, but like to me, like doing the content is like, to me it's what finished. Sometimes when I put the song with a video, it makes the song sound better. I'm like, oh, the song actually, it sounds better now that I can see me singing it on a video. I don't know, it's really weird. It kind of just like glues it together, I guess you could say.
Absolutely, the visuals
Yeah,
tying in with
yeah,
audible parts.
yeah,
I was thinking like the Big Lebowski. It really ties the room together.
yeah.
It does though. And but does it ever get to sometimes? I guess sometimes on the other end, it can get a little frustrating when people expect Sam Donald to be in a cool place for a video, and then
Yeah.
when they see it like not in somewhere, you're
I
like,
do I do them up here in my studio sometimes, and like sometimes I feel like I'm just like kind of cheating, like but I don't know, man. I like to change it up a little bit too, because sometimes I feel like the content I was doing outside, I mean, it definitely had like a phase where it was just like crushing. Because I mean, I don't know if it when I first got on here, a lot of people weren't doing that. They weren't outside doing that stuff. I feel like I was kind of one of the first people to like really go out and find some unique spots, and then like anything, it got saturated down with a lot of people doing it. So that's when I started doing some stuff in here, and I don't know, I'm always just trying to figure out a new way to present it to make people listen.
yeah, it's like reinventing yourself. It's got
It's nonstop just figuring out. I don't know,
yeah.
I even shaved my beard off to
I remember that. I remember the first video, and I didn't recognize you until I heard your voice when you talked. When you were like, "Man, made a mistake." I'm like, "Whoa!" It's weird
yeah.
how that can change a look so much.
Yeah, man, I had that thing for a long time, but I mean, it didn't really have anything to do with. Well, my wife liked the beard a lot, so I kept it for a couple years. But then, like, I had a bunch of videos go viral, and I was like, well, it's like I gotta keep it now for a little while because it's what people know. And then one day it was like 106 down here in Mississippi, and I was like, all right, this is enough. It's so hot, man. I like it better without, personally, just because it's hot down here, man.
Yeah, 106 with a beard. That sounds terrible. I can't. I can't stop scratching my face, and people are like, "You gotta wait until it gets
Yeah,
longer," and I'm like, "No, it never came." I just was
there's
just
there's
like,
a certain point you get to where it doesn't, but like even now, like I have one that long, like uh if it starts getting kind of long again, I'm saying, I'm like, man, I can't do this. I'll probably never have one that long again, if I'm being honest.
yeah. Well, you got plenty of content with it, so you can always relive your
Yeah,
days.
yeah. People always know whenever I'm being lazy and not shooting content, a beard video will pop up.
Yeah, they're like, "Ooh, from the archives."
Yeah, everybody likes to call. Almost always somebody will call me Forrest Gump when Forrest Gump had the beard.
I felt like running.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home now.
So, so with the new single of you writing it more from, you did it your way from yourself. Is that how the next chapter of Sam Donald Music's going to be? A more
Man, I'm actually working on I just got back from Nashville last week. I was up there. I'm working with the same producer that I've had for years, and then there's another guy named Justin Morgan that I've just got to know him from being in Nashville and stuff, and we're kind of the same age. We come from the same area. We like the same kind of music, but he's also doing, you know, he's been doing country up there for years now. And we just got to be friends, and we started writing over Zoom, and I wrote with him up there some, and he's going to be a producer on it as well. So in April, we're going to cut, you know, a 5, 6, 7 song EP. We're going to cut that all in 1 week, which I haven't cut. Everything I've done is always just, I'll go cut a single. Like, we usually do it in 2 days. I'll go to, Zach lives in, well, he has a place in New Orleans. That's where we almost do everything, is in New Orleans. And I'll go in 2 days and cut that, release it, and then we'll plan another time and just, but this will be the first time that we're taking a full week, and we're going to hash this out and have like pretty much the songs for the rest of the year out. So, and it's good stuff, man. I'm actually super excited about this. I mean, Justin is he's really good with lyrics and stuff, which is where I tend to get stuck on. So, yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I'm super stoked about it.
So your strong point would be the guitar riffs over lyrics?
I'm not even a great guitar player, honestly. I can get it done. I can fake it, but I say melody, and like,
okay.
Justin always says I'm good at writing like really cool lines, and then the rest of the crap just won't make sense. But he's kind of good at helping me glue it together. And then Zach's good at making it sound, you know, like Make You Want God, and kind of having that darker sound that kind of matches everything.
Yeah, that's the one part of your music that, man, I just love. It's just like that. It sounds like you're like listening to music, and
I want to lean into it more too. I always feel kind of bad, just like my family and stuff, because I'm typically a pretty happy guy, and it's like every song I release is just like so dark and sad. It's like is something wrong with you? You know what I mean? Not really, but just that's just what I mean. I always just tell my wife, it's just the kind of music I write. You know, if I sing something happy, it just sounds weird. You know.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. I think if I did it right, it could be done right. I have some older stuff out that's, you know, I think I have one song that doesn't have a minor chord in it, maybe, but you'd have to go way back. It's been years ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Not a lot of people are listening to that earlier stuff as much as the newer stuff. So
now, are you a fan of like Mississippi Delta blues?
Yeah, man. Actually, I mean, you know, not like super deep into it, but I mean, I'm from Mississippi, and I've heard the sound my whole life. So that's kind of what the last song was like, based off of. I was trying to do something that was like, you know, still my own thing, but like had a bluesy vibe to it. And I got this guy to come in that he's so good at slide guitar, and he really gave it kind of that vibe, you know. So that's kind of what I was going for when I sat down to write it. I was like, I'm gonna just write a blues song. Like, even though all the lyrics don't really make sense together, but like if you hear an old blues singer, like sometimes they're just singing just kind of random stuff, you know what I mean? And some of the lines in the song just pertain to different parts of my life. And I didn't really think this was gonna be a song that I cut last time, and like I jammed it with a band, and I don't know, man. I just woke up and decided I liked the song, and I had studio time, and this is a song we cut, and I dug it. So
yeah, well, a lot of people are glad you did, and it definitely has that vibe, and I love that sound. I love all like the legends and myths of the Delta guys, of
the Crossroads and all that stuff. Yeah, man,
yeah. Like,
it's super cool and super interesting. I love the just like the history of like the Delta and Mississippi, which I live pretty far from the Delta. I live at the very bottom of Mississippi, and it's at the top, but I used to play up there a good bit. And like every time I'd go up there, I just like would want to write a blues song. It's just like so flat and just so different than you know, the part of Mississippi where I live. But yeah, man, the Delta blues are cool stuff, man. Legendary stuff.
I love it. I love how so long ago was all that, and it's still they're still making documentaries. They're still talking about it, and you know they talk about Robert Johnson would meet up and practice at midnight in the dark at a cemetery. That's where he practiced his guitar and all that hoodoo and all that stuff. It's really cool. And man, I wish I could play slide, but when you hear those slides, you've heard them countless times, but it in some way, they all just it's all different. That's the one thing about blues. It's the same thing. It's weird how it's the same thing over and over again, but it's always different to the
I
people.
think everybody's got a little bit different soul in their fingers, you know, like in that slide. I think that's why it all has a little bit different feel. And I'm a terrible slide player, but Dead Man Walking, I wrote playing a slide, and like I was just feeling that lick, you know, that boom, boom, down, out, and I don't know, man. Something about it is very soulful to put a slide on. Something about it feels good, even if you suck at it like me.
That's like, I'm terrible at slides, and I always have one around, just like mocking me. Like I got one over there, an old like porcelain slide. It's like, all you're gonna do is pick me up and drop me, and that's it. I'm gonna shatter. Yeah. You're never gonna write a song with me. You're never gonna be good.
Yeah. But, if it's not in D, I don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Same here. I can almost get by on something like that, but nah, it's too far. It's too late in the game.
That's how I feel. I was like, I'm not gonna get good at this at 42.
Right, yeah.
Like, I keep playing bar chords.
It's like I wanted to learn how to play the fiddle, and like my first experience with it was tuning it, and the thing snapped and smacked me in the mouth with the string, and I'm like, come on, man. And I'm like, I finally I finally got it. I'm like, it's an open tuning. I should make music. I should make a sound. And man, the first it was terrible.
It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I've attempted that too. Have you seen the ones for acoustic guitar, the little bows?
No, like for like an acoustic, like.
Yeah, they make a little bow that's like, I don't know, it's like 4 inches long or so, and you can just stick it, you know, in the hole of your acoustic, and like it sounds like I can't remember what it's called. It's something. Just look up guitar bow. But
yeah.
My mom got me one for Christmas, dude, and it's really fun. You can't do like long sustains with it, obviously, because it's a short little bow. But like, you can do like cool, like little fast riffs with it, dude. It's super cool.
Huh? I'll have to check that out. It made me think of the E-bow. I wonder if they still make that little thing where you.
Yeah.
You put it. I think like.
Let's have a magnet.
Yeah, for some reason I think Eddie Van Halen had something to do with it.
I always feel like it was in like. I grew up playing in church a lot, but I feel like it was always in like contemporary Christian music, the E-bow.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. The guy at my church like to use it a lot. So
it's amazing how many people I talk to that started in church. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's where it all started for me. Playing in church, praise band, and we had like a youth praise band that I was in, and then my grandmother, she like led the church and doing all that. So yeah, I was heavy into it growing up. That's where some of my strongest roots come from, I feel like, in like writing, because hymns to me were always like super catchy, like the melodies of the hymns.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like that's why melody's always like my thing that sticks out to me, that I write first as melody. So I noticed melody before lyrics, weirdly enough. I know a lot of people are lyrics then melody, but I guess everybody's a little different.
I'm melody before lyrics, and
Oh yeah,
for a very long time. I
really.
I'll know. I'm not a drummer, but I'll know the drums before I know the lyrics, and it what's funny is I'll know the melody of the lyrics as well, which is a weird thing. And I got exposed the one time. The lead singer of the band, his voice was going out, and he's like, "Do you know the words of this song?" And I was like, "Kinda." He goes, "Well, if you kind of know them, kind of help me out." And I knew the intro. It was Volbeat, Still Standing. Like I knew the intro because that's all it is. And but the the verse he had dropped out, but I knew like I know that part, but that's all I know of the words. I just know
Right.
the melodic area of where they are and how they just jump up. And but he had dropped out and was just staring at me like, that's not what I
You
meant, dude. And everybody in the place was like, what is he doing? Because I just was like using my voice as an instrument, just think I was backing up his pitch.
right.
And it just what it was
I think
terrible.
that two different kinds of people. There's lyric people and melody people. So I guess that's a real thing. I'm definitely the melody guy though, man, for sure.
That's that's the that's one of the reasons I was talking to somebody on the podcast and he said because I said I don't know how like why I really like my stuff really popped off and he was kind of like, I'll tell you why. He said people listen to music differently, and a lot of people, especially in the country realm, they don't hear what the bass is doing, they don't hear what the percussion's doing, they don't hear how tight or how you know vibrant the snare is, or the
Right.
stick work on the hi-hat, or there might be a cowbell or something else. He goes, they don't notice that, but you do. Because I'll pick apart all the percussion all the way up, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the song, I'll be like, man, I really hope that wasn't a sad song because I totally missed any meaning or of
Yeah.
it. But I love the music. Then go back, and it still won't hear all the lyrics, and it's until
Yeah.
because that was like one of the reasons where I saw a thing like a VST on how to like remove vocals from songs. And I'm like, man, let me really just listen to this and really so I can get it and not be, like a good pick. And
Right.
that to me is the squirrel running across the yard for me because I'm like, oh, I'm right back there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it takes some time. It's really weird how some songs I've been listening to for 20, 30 years, and I don't know the lyrics. It's
Yeah. I'm the same way. I noticed people commenting on some covers that I put out. They'll just be like, been singing the words wrong for 40 years. I had no idea. Like on Lightning Crashes, a lot of people think that they say pale blue colored eyes, but it's pale blue colored iris. And I've been playing that song a long time, and I actually didn't know it either. The very first video, actually the one that went viral, the one that I put out, I said eyes, and then somebody, of course, corrected me on it. So
the
that's when I
grammar
learned.
class.
Yeah, always somebody, right? But yeah, I'm the same way though, man. I sing whatever I think it is,
Exactly. And it's until you like really focus on the lyrics, especially like back in the day of how like artistic the lyrics were, like being it like listening to the melody and whatnot. I don't know if you know the lyrics of Cumbersome. Like when you really look into the
Yeah.
lyric, because they were like, hey, we got rid of a guy that used to sing certain songs so the lead singer could have a break. And I'm like, there's no way I can remember these lyrics. There's absolutely no way. It was like, so I'm like, these are the lyrics to Cumbersome, because I'm like, I never ever paid attention whatsoever, and it's very articulate and it's just like and it's funny because like I just looked at him and knew, and that was the last. That was now every time I hear it, I try to focus on the lyrics because it's a very it's very different from, well, for a while,
What do you think?
I'm trying to think. I might have to pull them up because it's
I
do you,
covered
do you,
that song too, but it was like at least a decade ago. So I,
yeah,
I
it-
all I hear is like da, 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 that little breakdown part. That's all I can do. Like
exactly.
the melody, but I can't. Something about too rubber too wide or something. I don't know what they say. It's been a while since I've heard Cumbersome. There's always some guy that comments and says I should play it, but I just always kind of forget about that song.
Yeah, the first verse, she calls me Goliath and I wear the David mask. I
They,
guess the stones are coming too fast for her now. And I'm like, what? That's a little poetic. I didn't know.
right.
Because that dan, 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 that's all I hear. Dan, dan.
Yeah. What a legendary intro to a song.
Mm-hmm. Now being a melody guy over that, you think that's like gonna be like a curse when you
Oh, say it again. You cut out a little bit.
I was gonna say, could that be considered a curse when when you're the lead singer of a band? Little straining
That's
of just writing songs, but and that's when the co-write really comes in handy and really gets the product out there.
you talking about singing wise?
Not just like putting together a song
Oh
of
yeah.
getting pen to paper, because the melody is a great part too, but a lot of the
I
co-writing's got to help.
usually start off pretty, just find the right chord progression, and then I'll try to fancy it up a little bit with a good. Usually, I mean, that's what I liked. That's where I think a lot of the comparisons to people saying that I do stuff like Nirvana, but I mean, it is. I don't think that I sound much like Nirvana, but I think my writing process, as far as it just being super simple, like anytime I go to like do something on guitar, like it's usually just going to be like an easy, you know, I just try to think simplicity is the key. You know what I mean? So it's never going to be,
Mhm.
I usually try to let, like we said, let the melody is what I always think should be the strongest. And then that's just me though. I think everybody's got a different opinion of that for sure.
Definitely, and it helps with the song being an earworm of, maybe you didn't catch the lyrics, but you definitely caught the riff and you caught the movement of the song. And I think
Yeah.
because
Now, Zach, the guy I record with, he's a riff master. I usually take everything in there and it's so just broke down to just like just me and an acoustic, and then he'll like, you know, beef it up the way he does because that's kind of his specialty.
it's great to have people like that when
Oh yeah, it's usually 1,000% better than what I bring him by the time it leaves there, which is always nice knowing that like I know he's kind of gonna take care of that part of it. I don't really have to be scared about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it is cool when you are in a studio, and it's amazing, like just how like one little idea and you get a couple minds together and the end product I always found to be amazing. Like when you hear even the stories about how songs come about.
Yeah, that's what I love about recording in general, man. Since I was a teenager, like the whole the whole creative process of it is just like, I don't know, man. It's just something that I've always loved, and I think I always will love it. I mean, I think I wasn't doing social media stuff or whatever, I think I would still be up in this room at least once a day, like doing this, just because it's fun for me. And I know that this AI stuff's kind of a turning page for some people, but like even when I first heard about it, I was like, man, this is super cool. I like plug some songs into Suno that like, I wrote back in like the early 2000s, and it was so cool to like see it like a produced version of it. And then like I realized a little bit later on that like this thing's like robbing me of the joy of like creating this in the studio, you know, because that's what I actually love about it. And now I can do this in 15 seconds, and I don't know. I feel like it was a thief. It was robbing me of my of my creative process. So yeah, I don't do it anymore.
You're right though, because the process there, some parts of the process are some of the, you know, the best tools where you'll learn something that can be used again somewhere else. Of maybe I'll do that, and if it sounds good, or even like change up timing, and then you can find other parts of other songs where you're like, man, what worked there could work again. It just you can really miss out on some just learning things, you know, like you always hear the stories of like they didn't have a certain instrument, so they used a packet of sugar.
Yeah, yeah,
You need a certain sound, so you put something up against like a condenser microphone and create it
yeah.
stuff, and you can
It's the,
never.
if you're a musician, like you just gotta love that part of it, you know. And that's the kind of stuff that I love. I mean, there's several songs of mine that I can hear my necklace that I always wear. Like I can hear it in the recordings, and like that kind of stuff to me is just, you know, it's special. But yeah, man, I don't know. I love the creative process of going to the studio. There's something to me that's just been magical about it since I was a teenager. I think I'll just always love doing that, which is the reason I've kept doing this for 20 something years, you know.
It's it's a musician's Toys R Us. There's a lot of times you go to studio and you're like, look at everything I've always wanted myself. That
Yeah,
a lot of it I'll never have, but here it is, and I can use all of it right
yeah,
now.
yeah. It's super cool, man. Yeah, like I said, I thought the Suno thing was like, man, this might be a cool tool at first, and then yeah, I like I said, I felt like it was just like robbing me of that. I was like, man, it's cool to hear this song that like I probably would have never recorded, but like I don't know, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like it's that a lot of people that's going to be their crutch, and
Yeah,
they'll be in a situation, and they'll be like, "Oh, how'd you do that?" And, oh, you know, like what do you say? You say like, "Oh, I just put it in a computer program, and 15 seconds later, it's like that's all. End of answer." You know, like
right. I liked the packet of sugar story better. You know, I think that that sounds way cooler than I ran it through an app. You know.
absolutely. It's and yeah, I think behind the music and stuff like that really makes the music even more special.
Yeah,
Especially if you're with people that you made it with, that now you're presenting it on stage, and they know the process it went through. They know how it was recorded. They knew how it was done that day and how it wanted to sound in the studio, and they just have more education on the
yeah,
songs they're playing, and they know like it, sometimes it can be very difficult to get the execution of a song done right, especially like, and time is money when you're in that building. And
yeah, man. Yeah, I've spent a lot of hours being stuck over the years since pre AI stuff. It's I don't know, it's something about being stuck and then pushing through it that's also like we've talked about just rewarding, you know. I mean, something about getting through it and making it work, satisfying.
and makes you appreciate your own music more, and you know, to have more respect for it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know that you know 100% of it was, you know, blood, sweat, and tears of you know, trial error, you know, take 33, take 2, you know, all the trials, and I think that makes it through to the mix in the end. But yeah, man, we've been talking for an hour. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Man, just I know February 21st, me and John are playing together. I know you and John are big buddies, and me and John have been friends for a long time. So we've done a lot of stuff together. So this is a show in Ground Zero in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it's gonna be the two of us co-headlining, and it's gonna be a good one, man. I think we've almost sold it completely out together, which is, you know, a big deal for us. Kind of, they play in Mississippi a lot too, so it's kind of like a dual homecoming show for us. So yeah, I think there's probably 50 tickets left or something like that, and it's 3 weeks out, so it's probably for sure going to sell out. But that's coming up. I'm trying to release music every 6 weeks. Always writing, always doing everything. So I'm just hoping for a good year. Like I said, started working with Joe and just signed on with a booking agency too. So I'm hoping to be out playing more shows this year. So
Awesome. Well, yeah, dude, thanks for taking time to talk.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. It's nice talking to you in real life and not just typing some stuff, you know.
Yeah, in the comments. Yeah, I agree as well. And yeah, I hope people go to the show, and I hope they, you know, take a lot of videos, because I would definitely love to be there to see you guys, because you guys duet fantastically together.
Thanks, dude.
So
I sure appreciate it, man.
hell yeah, man. Dude, once again, it was great talking to you, and I hope to talk to you soon.
You too, bro. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.